Now, let's take one step forward. You probably receive a lot of feedback from all your participants. How do you guys use this feedback to shape future programs, or how do you use those feedback?
Well, I would say those feedbacks are one of our most effective way of evaluating our own programs, right? To see where the improvements can be made. And if you want to call it a KPI, that will probably be the most, accurate way of describing
Yeah.
it. So our feedback being an education institution, right? Like our feedbacks are mainly focused on four different categories, right? We have the content, whether or not the knowledge that we are delivering in the program is accurate representation of our, let's say, the advertisement, as well as if it's beneficial to the audiences, right, that are attending our programs. The second will be the delivery, right? It's not enough to just have good content, right? Like for those of you who are being through any forms of school, right? It doesn't even have to be university. If you have great content, but your teacher is not someone that's good at teaching, you're probably not going to learn very much, right? So the second aspect that we kind of focus our feedbacks, receiving our feedbacks on are the delivery styles as well as the delivery effectiveness of our instructors, right? For executive education or any kind of professional development, it's in my opinion important to have a healthy mixture of academic knowledge as well as experiential knowledge, right? Because at the end of the day, you can just kind of go to school, you can learn on YouTube, any of the academic things that you're looking for, right? So there's no need to really take a course specifically with us. But what makes our executive education kind of different is that our instructors and our faculties are able to blend those academic knowledge with the practical knowledge, right? So if our instructors and faculty members are not able to deliver in a way for our participants to bring it back to their individual careers and situations, apply them to their unique situation, then we kind of failed at what we do, right? So that's also another main aspect or areas that we're kind of looking to evaluate our programs, right? And the third one is, of course, customer service, right? Doesn't matter which industry you are in, customer service is always
Very important.
yeah, one of the things that you need to focus on, right? Yeah. And the final thing is just overall program experience, right? Are you satisfied with the program? If there is anything else that we can kind of, you know, improve upon, those four categories are always being sent out as formal evaluation program to all of our clients and our participants. So,
I like the way when you talk about the methods of delivery and you evaluate that too, because do you find that in executive development or professional development, more of your attendees are focusing more on the application level of the knowledge than the academic, where when we go to universities or colleges, or whether we focus on maybe a set of formulas, or how the theoretical items, the executive development is mainly focused more on the application part.
absolutely, I would say that at the end of the day, if you can't apply what you learned into your professional setting, then what is the point, right?
That's fair. That's a great way of putting that,
Yeah.
right?
You're here for professional development, so you have to help you professionally afterwards, right? So in that sense, I wouldn't say academic knowledge is
It is still
not
important.
important exactly, but also at the same time, that's what I feel like an undergraduate degree or any kind of academic degree is tend to lack, unless you're taking a master degree like MBA, right? Okay. Where they kind of blend the applications as well as real world situations into their learning, right? It's up to the participants or the students in those kind of degree programs to kind of figure that out, right? And sometimes, not like I mentioned before, not all knowledge is applicable to every person, right? And so, which is also again why our programs are kind of specific to target audiences, right?
Mhm. Now, same thing, like going back to that topic. Do you think this is the main key factor that distinguishes you from other institutions that are offering the same thing or even on online platform? Like how do you stay ahead of your competitors?
Yeah. I would say that definitely is one of the ways that we kind of separate ourselves with our competitors, right? We focus a lot more on experiential learning, rather than just academic learning. But there's also, like I mentioned before, right, the evaluation process, because we take pride in the programs and the services that we can offer. Like, that is not to say our competitors don't, but we always try to kind of stay ahead of the curve by kind of always updating and innovating our content, right? A lot of people, when they think about topics such as leadership, strategy, execution, they tend to think the topic is kind of timeless in a way where, you know, they're all leaders, for example, right? People believe that all leaders provide or possesses a set of skills, right? As long as you possess the set of skills, then you are going to be a good leader, right?
Yeah.
But that is really not the case, right? Even though the fundamentals might be the same, the way that you kind of apply will be very, very different, right? Just like our previous discussion when it comes to post and pre-pandemic, right? Given the environment that you are in, different environments requires a different types of leadership style, right? So using that as an example, we try to constantly update our content as well as the delivery methods. And when it comes to case studies and things like that, we also try to help our faculties and instructors kind of update their content. So when regardless of when our participants take our program, they always have something relevant that they can kind of take back.
I think that's very important because yes, you get content and a lot of great research were conducted in the 1920s to 1950s. They have
Exactly.
great research, but the way you apply it could be very different, even though it's the same theories,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And there are always studies being done, right? Even as we're speaking now, there are leadership studies. There are studies that's being done on, professional behavior or, emotional intelligence. And those kind of things are constantly evolving, right? So we can, as an education institution, we cannot stay stagnant and not updating our content, right?
So true. And I mean, even pandemic and post pandemic era, right? Even the same theories apply, but the way you actually present it, the way you put it into operation.
Definitely is a learning experience for all of us, right?
Yeah, definitely.